everyone, my name is Louise and welcome to my channel. This is like my third attempt trying to do a 2025 New Year's video. The first time I thought it was just plain boring and not worth anyone's time. And then the second time was way too chaotic and just bizarre, random bullshit that made absolutely no sense. And was also not worth anyone's time in the long run. So hopefully this video will go a lot smoother. Similar to my other video attempts for this, I don't really know what I want to talk about, but hopefully I can make it worth your while. I guess how I'd like to start is to simply wish everyone a happy new year and a peaceful 2025. I hope that you can find happiness and safety and comfort in wherever life takes you through the next year. And I hope that sorrows, sadness, tragedies, and any negativity in 2024 does not follow you into the next year. And I just hope that life treats you well. I think that we all deserve that after how 2020 started and just how this decade has been. Even if life isn't perfect around the world, I hope individually for people watching this that life improves going into 2025. Now I'd like to talk to you about Christmas and holidays and about what I got for presents. I shared a little bit about what I got on my community tab, but I thought that I would actually discuss what I got for Christmas. And I also thought that maybe you guys could discuss in the comments what you got for Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or, whatever you celebrate. So first off, I ended up getting 3 books. The first one being I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy, who you may know as Sam Puckett from iCarly. When I was a kid, I really enjoyed Jennette's work on iCarly, and that was a really big influence as to why I bought this book. But the other reason is I have my own family traumas, and I thought that this book would be incredibly relatable to me, and I really enjoyed so far. I am only on chapter 6. I'm quite a slow reader, and my caregiver is reading it to me to help me comprehend, and I really enjoyed so far. But yeah, we got a long way to go. I'm only in the beginning of it really, but it's still quite enjoyable, and I can't wait to read more. The next book I got was The Little Golden Book of the Beatles. It's just a little children's story by those classic golden books that just tells a really, really brief history of who the Beatles are. It's quite cute, especially if you have young kids, but it's also great for me because, like I said, I struggle to read, which is kind of ironic because you guys know I'm working on a fan fiction that requires a lot of reading. But that's kind of why I made it into an audiobook. Anyways, yeah, it's a really cute story. It does skip quite a lot of Beatles history. It's mainly of why the Beatles band was formed and how so. But it's still really nice, really cute drawings. And if you're a new fan or have little children around, I would say it's a great read. Also, I'm actually kind of hungry. I'm gonna have to get something to eat later. Anyways, next I got Hey Grandude by Paul McCartney himself. Because it is a children's book, the story is again quite simple, but it's really entertaining. I almost see it as kind of like a song, sort of. There's this phrase that the Grandude says that makes them go on all these crazy adventures. And if I had to liken it to something, I would liken it to Magical Mystery Tour, specifically the film from 1967. So if you really like that, I would recommend this book. It really has that kind of vibes, like a more childlike look at it, but yeah, it kind of has magical mystery tour vibes. That's just kind of what I've gotten from it. But I would recommend it plainly because, it's written by Paul. Like, how can you go wrong with that? Next, I bought Linda McCartney's Sun Prince 1980s book. So this is a Linda McCartney photography book that was made in the 1980s, published in 1988, and it's mainly just, pictures, what Linda's known for, other than being Paul's wife. And it has a lot of nature pictures mainly, but a few of Paul and James, their son. James is on the cover. And it's just a really nice book to look at if you like picture books, which I do, so. Next is Linda McCartney, Portrait of an Era, otherwise known as Linda McCartney's 60s. This is another of Linda McCartney's photography books. I really like it because it has a lot of different artists like Bob Dylan, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, the Beatles, of course, and some early days of Paul, Heather, and Linda, and Mary in Scotland. And again, if you like picture books and you like Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney, a great pick. Alright, so those are all my Christmas gifts that I bought for myself, either using money given to me or money that I just had. Now I'm going to go into what I was actually gifted. And once again, I shared some of this on my community tab, but I'd like to discuss it, so we're going to do that now. First off, I got new SpongeBob pajama pants, which are really cool because they have SpongeBob and Patrick around them. I think Gary too, but I know SpongeBob and Patrick for sure. And then there's real life looking fish around as well. And it's really cool to have that cartoony but also real element to it, and they're really comfortable, perfect fit. And I really like those. I was then gifted a Beatles 2025 wall calendar, which, funny story, I actually ordered one of those for myself. But I didn't include it into the gifts that I bought myself because the one that I was gifted was way better because it actually has the Beatles' birthdays written down, so I don't have to. And I like the pictures that are chosen more because it's Beatles singles or whatever, album covers or something like that. And it's just more creative and more fun. But I came up with a solution. The one that was gifted to me that I like more is in my bedroom. And then the one that I bought is going to be in my office where I do my therapies and stuff. Next, I was gifted a Beatles Ed Sullivan Show glowing Lego set, which you guys probably know about because I made a whole video freaking out about it when I got my lights to work on it. And yeah, it's really cool. The details are amazing, and I've been using it as a little nightlight in my bedroom, and I absolutely love it. One of my caregivers in my new house had to help me build it because my fingers and motor skills aren't the best, and there was a lot of really tiny pieces and wiring that I didn't understand. But he helped me also by color coding the pieces because I was having a really hard time understanding the instructions booklet, and he was color coding it with acrylic paint markers, and that really accommodated to my needs and helped me build most of it by myself actually. But like I said, he had to do a little bit of it for me because my fingers wouldn't let me. Next, I got a Care Bears water bottle, which I really love because I need to work on drinking water a lot more. And who doesn't like getting a new water bottle, especially Care Bears? Care Bears are fucking cool, But yeah, I got that as well. I got a back scratcher, which has kind of turned into a little cat toy for when my 3 cats at my new house become little pets and like to scratch and bite my feet. So I got that. And then I ended up getting a Simpsons Chia Pet, of the meme of Homer going in the bushes all scared. And I really like that as well. I haven't started planning it yet, but I will. And then I got Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PlayStation 5 and the SpongeBob Patrick Star game for the PlayStation 5. And let me just say, it was kind of humorous because when I opened the games up, I was actually quite upset because I, at the time of opening the gift, only had a PlayStation 4. And I was like, these games, I want them, but they're gonna kill my system. You know, because there's PlayStation 5 games going on a 4. And you know where my brain is going with this, you know. So I understandably got really upset. And then, of course, I opened the big gift, which was, you all know, a PlayStation 5. And it blew me away. I honestly didn't think I was going to get it. I mean, I should have known because I opened the 2 games for the system. But my brain was like, nope, you're going to kill my system. All hell is loose. I love having anxiety. But yeah, anyway, yeah, so I ended up getting a PlayStation 5. And it was really, really great. The only thing is, if you play Grand Theft Auto, you might know it's notorious for long loading. And I was waiting for like a good, I would say almost 3 hours to get in. And then it was pushing like 10 o'clock at night or something. And then I'm like, okay, I want to get my online character set up. I want to beat the prologue. That way, when I go in, you know, next time, I don't have to do all this tutorial crap over and over again. Because at least on the 4, if you don't do the tutorial, you know, the prologue on story mode, and then the tutorial with Lamar or whatever on online, you have to keep doing it until you beat it. And so I was hyper-fixated, determined to do it. And it went on until like almost 1 in the morning because of the Christmas update that there's snow on the ground. And that was great. Thanks, Rockstar. Because I restarted my character, and so I had a shitty car that couldn't drive in the snow worth a shit. And it really just slowed down the process. So I didn't finish setting up my PlayStation until about 1:30 in the morning. And I felt really bad because everybody else in my house was like, we want to watch the Polar Express. And it got to the point where it was pushing, you know, after midnight. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. But my brain was so hyper-focused, it was like, I need to finish getting this tutorial crap done. And by the end of it, I was so done and angry and tired. Oh my god. And like I said, that's no hate to the PlayStation 5. That is hate to Rockstar. Because I love their games, but sometimes their development process is shit. And I think that's everything that I ended up getting. I'm pretty sure. And so, yeah, after I got that set up, I laid on the couch and we watched Polar Express. And I think I was awake for maybe the first 10 minutes of it. And then I fell asleep. I fell asleep in the living room. And I stayed in there all night long. So yeah, that's how I spent my Christmas. And now I'm going to talk to you about how 2024 was for me, what my plans are for 2025, and that'll be the end of the video. However, before I talk about how 2024 was, I really need to eat some pizza, so I grabbed some, and I'm gonna eat while I do this part, because I am starving. Okay. A little cold, but I don't care. I just need something in my tummy. I'm usually always hungry when I'm making these, because I record these around supper time, if I have the time. So that's why I'm always hungry when I make videos. But anyways, 2024 started with me beginning my mental health journey. My mental health journey actually kicked off in the middle of 2023, but it really started to go in January of this year when I got my ARMS worker, an ARMHS worker, which stands for Adult Rehabilitation Mental Health Service. And through that program, I do all sorts of groups or classes, as I call them. Right now, I am doing a brain group, which is an abnormal psychology class, and a creative writing class. But I also do self-esteem workbook. I did WRAP, which stands for Wellness Recovery Action Plan, and an anxiety management class. On January 8th, I will be starting an emotional regulation course, and I am really excited to do that. And I really like these classes because it's informative, it's fun, it has routine, and I've made a lot of friends through it. And I also got a new solo therapist. And I really like her a lot. She's not my first therapist. I did one session at school once. That was crap. And then I went to this other outlet through like North Dakota or something. And that therapist was really unprofessional, like had her children around during session, which I wasn't comfortable with. But now the one that I have is really good. And the one that I have right now is actually through the outlet that I get my arm services from. But I had to go to this other lady because like the therapists had such a long waiting list. But now all my mental health is together and tied. So my arms worker talks to my therapist talks to my arms worker, whatever. And I really like that. Also, big change in 2024 is that I moved away from my mom and my dad, which was very stressful for a multitude of reasons. I'm not gonna go into why, all the little tiny details, but it was a really big adjustment. It still is a big adjustment. I've only been away from my dad for a little under 4 months. And, it's quite a big change for me because we are very close. But I know deep down where I am now is where I need to be because I have friends, I'm getting all my needs met, and I'm just in a safer place. Now, I want to talk to you guys about what's to come into the next year. So first off, I'm going to continue YouTube. I'm still working really hard on the Parenting Paul fan fiction, and I'm really glad you guys are liking it. It has been a work of nearly 2 years now, which is crazy to think. And I'm really proud of what I've been able to do with it, thanks to AI. I've never really used AI before in any of my editing, or any of my videos, but I've really been experimenting with it in the last couple months, and I really like it. I'm not going to use it all the time. I still enjoy editing, putting my own effort into it, but AI is definitely a really cool thing to play around with. Especially for a lot of the ideas that I have, like I have been planning another interactive Paul McCartney fan fiction game, kind of like what I did in 2022, and I hope that goes well, and I hope that I can make it a little more diverse, a little more cohesive, and just a really cool project. I don't really have a plot or anything. It's just a very loose idea that I want to do again using AI. If you guys have any ideas for plots, I would love to hear them. That's not saying I'm going to use them, but I'm open to suggestions. You never know. You never know what my brain will do. Like a lot of these ideas come to me and I ruminate on them for days, weeks, months, until it finally, I either get the motivation and I'm like, yep, I'm just gonna go, or I meticulously plan it. I never know how my big projects are gonna go, but it means the world to me when people actually enjoy them. So yeah, I am open to suggestions. I would love to hear it, because maybe that's what other people might want to see too. I don't know. So, yeah, that's what I have planned when it comes to YouTube. Now, I want to tell you about what might happen in 2025. As for this part, I really don't know if it'll happen, when it'll happen. It's just a possibility, depending on how things go. So, as you may or may not know, I do have several medical issues. Most notably, I have congenital heart disease, or more specifically, tricuspid atresia, which means I am missing the tricuspid valve of the heart. And that causes me to run anywhere from 70 to 80% oxygen at any given time. This is my oxygen tester, and this is how I test it. I'm actually working on practicing testing it every day, because that's just a skill that for some reason I just never really picked up on, and so I'm really working on practicing testing it at least once a day. And so I thought this would be a good excuse to teach you how I test. So I take this device, then I put it on my finger like this. It's 80% right now, which is actually really good for me. Oh, it went down a little bit, 79. So yeah, I'm anywhere between 70 and 80 is where they want me to be. It's going down because I'm talking. But that's kind of the really sketchy thing about this disorder is it fluctuates like crazy. The other day, I had it tested and it was at 56, and my caregivers were really concerned, and they were like, when do we take you to the doctor? And I'm like, I don't know, I feel okay. But yeah, it was just really weird. And then the other day before that, I was at 92 or something crazy like that. And so it fluctuates crazy, but typically it's 70 to 80 at any given time. And so yeah, that's what my condition does. So, because of my low oxygen, I use a wheelchair typically when I'm out of the house, like at Walmart, Costco, or going to big events. Like if I was ever going to go to a Paul McCartney concert, I would have my wheelchair. Things like that, where I'm going to be standing for a long time, in people's way, in crowds, like that is when I use my wheelchair. I can walk just fine around my house. So I'm ambulatory. I don't require a wheelchair. I can walk if I need to, but I like to have my wheelchair because I'd rather be comfortable and not be in people's way if I need a break. I remember when I was in school, I would get very tired, trying to walk across the school to get to different classes. Or it was really bad when there was like a pep fest or a fire drill. Fire drills especially were terrible. Because I had to run out the building and I didn't have a wheelchair at the time. And I remember one time it was under 30 degrees and I wasn't able to get my coat because I didn't know that there was going to be a fire drill. It just kind of happened. And it was very scary because my oxygen got so low. I don't remember what it was, but it got so low that I was beginning to pass out and shut down and was like peeing myself a little bit, because like I was scared and I was freaking out, and like teachers and students and just random staff were like huddling around me trying to keep me warm, and I lost the ability to stand, like I was about to faint and stuff. So things like that. And there were other outliers, too, like the weather can make me tired as well. But, so yeah, I don't use my wheelchair all the time. Like it's actually in the car right now. That's how little I use it. Like it's not in the house at all. But yeah, so my condition really does affect me quite a bit. And every late spring or early summer, I go to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester and I do my echocardiogram, x-ray, MRI, blood tests, and whatever else they want me to do on a yearly basis. And last year, they told me that I might be getting surgery. Specifically because I am developing stenosis, or narrowing of an artery near my lung. I called my doctor in October to ask, like, do you want to go ahead with this? You know, I moved into my new house. I'm ready to go if you think I am. And he said he wanted to do more tests, which means wait until next year in the late spring or early summer. And then he wanted to talk to his colleagues and everything else. So yeah, I don't really have a time frame. But yeah, this is something that my doctor has been teasing me with probably since I turned 16, 17, you know, because I'm not growing anymore. I'm an adult now, and they think that it's time to do more maintenance surgeries. And so that might be happening later in 2025. Well, that is it for this New Year's video. I hope that it's better than the previous one, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you have an amazing New Year's, an amazing 2025. I hope if you are still celebrating Kwanzaa or Hanukkah, I hope that you're having an amazing holiday as well. I don't celebrate those, but I know they're very important, just like Christmas. And yeah, I just hope that everything is going well for you guys. Peace and love, and bye.